Well, damn, it's about time we got a game like this. Hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome to the early access version of a game by the name of Seafarer, the ship sim. This game is, as you'd imagine, a game all about everything ships, except for like military ships. So many times on Steam and other places we've seen submarine simulators, surface ship simulators, aircraft simulators and whatnot, but not too often that we actually get a maritime game with the putting out of fires and navigating through ports and tug operations. There are a couple of games that come close, like Fishing Barents Sea comes to mind, and there are a few others that are coming up too, including one I believe called Docked, where you get to own and operate your very own port. But this one is a little different. Now, this is from the same folks who made Police Simulator, and of course have recently dropped the game by the name of Firefighting Simulator Ignite. That one was a 4-player multiplayer firefighting sim, although this one seems to be single player. Anyway, I've already tried it a little bit, and it's a game. It's early access, and I think it's got a long way to go, and that's exactly what you get with early access. So really, to be fair, it's definitely that for sure. Now, it does have a quick play mode, which allows you to get right into the action with a bunch of different operations, which is cool. You can set up the weather, the time of day, and also where you're going to be. And then also it looks like operations like loading containers, unloading containers, tugboats, ferry cargo delivery, firefighting, which we're going to take a look at here today, patrol, looking for criminals and whatnot, and whatever it may be, and then also inspection too, kind of going a little past that. We also have the ability to do some parking spot stuff, practicing courses, and a few other things in between by modifying the settings, including like what kind of a ship you're going to take out there. For example, if you want to do firefighting, there's the Archer and the Lancer. Now, I'm not a naval expert by any means, so a lot of these ships may be somewhat similar to ships you may know of. So if you'd like to see more of this game, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell, because we're going to be streaming and playing this one a lot more, especially when it releases in early access on October 7th. Now, we're playing this a few days in advance, and I think I'll need to play it a little bit more to really see how I feel about it. But yeah, it's going to be rough around the edges and incomplete because it will be early access, and then eventually we'll have its full release sometime later. So that's going to be good to see over time all the feedback that'll make for a much better game. All right, without further ado, let's jump into our first look at Seafarer, the ship sim. Let's go. All right, we're going to take our time here a little bit as I explain the game, but then also try to go through the basic operations of getting this ship started and getting out there to where there's a fire on one of the vessels. Don't worry, we'll do it. All right, so we have ourselves a big, beautiful ship here, gorgeous in every way. There's 2 ships to fight fires with currently at the moment, and also there's a lot more ships coming in the future. So, oh, that's interesting. It looks like we're supposed to park over there, but oh, can we launch the the daughter craft can be launched here. Very nice. Okay, let's go ahead and head on inside to, actually, let's go up to the bridge, and we'll go ahead and get underway. Now we have all these remote controlled sprays here, nozzles, hoses, whatever you want to call them. Basically, they're cannons that are going to put out this fire, and we're going to go ahead and do that in just a moment. Let's go ahead and back away then from the shoreline. Now, I've got to say, from what I've seen so far, the last time I tried this, actually, the developers have been putting in a few more controls. As you can see here, our controls are pretty much there at the lower left side, and they're putting in more markers for what to do and how to do it. And it's very difficult to control a ship. There is a career mode in this game, and there is a tutorial for it, but I've just been having difficulty kind of figuring out exactly like what I'm doing. And by that I mean, if I'm looking at all the instruments that I have at my disposal, if I look at the screens here, we have maps, and we have some heads-up displays and a few other things to kind of give us information as to where we're going, how fast we're going there, and other information important such as radars. Some of them actually work rather well, like the radar, but then also we have things like, for example, I don't know, what seems to be a speedometer there that's not really telling me much about RPMs or anything in the engine room. Although the whole ship is fully explorable, we can go through, like the cruise quarters and the lounge area, and also into the engine room. Still pretty cool to be able to like be on a ship that really reminds me of something along the lines of oh damn, I already forgot the name of the game. Stormwinds, that one. Stormwinds was a lot of fun, building your own aircraft, almost kind of like in a Lego format. But a little different than that, being able to make ships for mostly putting out fires, and then also aircraft and helicopters to do the same and rescue people. Very cool. All right, I'm going to try to steer myself over there as straight as can be, and honestly it just seems like it's going to fight against you the whole way. I want to try to do my best to, you know, go straight there and address the fire as soon as possible, but you know, I'm just having some trouble. Now I've gone through a little bit of the tutorial, I've learned some of the basics, but there still seems to be more things that need to be in the game. Now there is now finally, actually I've noticed this on the right side, a rudder indicator. Now that was not there before. So on screen there's a throttle in blue on the right, and then there's a rudder marker too that was not there before, and it seems like there's nothing though in the ship to actually tell us what we're doing, so we have to use the heads-up display. Now if you've ever played a game by the name of Train Sim World before, you'll know that that game where you're piloting and driving a bunch of different trains and equipment has been simplified with a heads-up display that kind of has the same information in the same spots every time. So whether or not you're driving an American diesel train, a British diesel passenger train, or a German electric cargo or passenger train, the heads-up display in that game is meant to simplify all of the different trains that you'll pilot and make it a little easier to learn and jump between the scenarios without having to be a master at each of the different trains. So here, hopefully the ships will kind of be the same thing too, if you want them to be, but also for a game that's declaring itself to be the ship sim, I hope there's a lot more detail in terms of actually being on the bridge and you know, controlling the ship from really like a very realistic no HUD type scenario. Anyway, we're also approaching some cliffs here, so we better be careful about that. But it also does seem that there are maybe 8 to 10 different ports available at the moment, and they're all going to be various sizes and industries. So this one seems to be rather you know, quite large, but I don't see a shipping area here. But they're all going to be perfect for, you know, large container operations, some that will be more for like tugboat operations, and this one for fires, which will be quite cool too. Now we can also drop anchor here in a little bit. We do have a crew that, you know, we have multiple crew members on the ship that are just kind of randomly spawned in. And even myself, my character looks really weird. Like, I think at the beginning, you could choose somebody who really does look like a captain of maybe like a cruise ship. You know, they're rocking the white shirt and they've got all the, you know, the hat and the dress pants and whatnot. Otherwise, everybody else looks like they're a fisherman. Although we're supposed to be on a firefighting ship, it would be nice to be able to pick our crew members in terms of maybe their names and their appearances and things like that, so that way they match the vibe of whatever's going on the ship. You know, this seems like she would be like a private owner of like a sailboat or something like that, just out for a leisure cruise. But this is a serious situation, and so it would be nice that, especially coming from the same folks who made Firefighting Simulator The Squad and Ignite, that we could actually play the role. Now, there also are operations for patrol. If you skip, by the way, the beginning of the video, you go right back to the beginning, damn it, because there's some really important information and a lot of things that are explained that I'm sure many of you skip, and I know you do when it comes to games like Panzer Elite and whatnot. We try to explain these things to you, and then there's nothing but complaints in the comment section. You must watch all these things in their entirety to really understand the full picture here. And as I was mentioning, this is one that really, I think, needs to do a more complete job in letting everybody, you know, pick uniforms and outfits that go for things like sea patrol and other things of that nature, like being like a security vessel. All right, we're getting rather close here, but I wanted you to see the detail of this ship, and in comparison to ours, they're looking pretty good, but I think they'll only get better. And I also think that the ships in this game really remind me of games like, for example, Cold Waters, the like Cold War era ship simulator, and then of course there was a recent one from Microprose too, ships in the Missile Age. I forget exactly what it's called. I did enjoy that one as well, but there's so many naval ship games, but not too many maritime ones. All right, we're gonna go ahead and control the cannon here. As you can see, we have 4 cannons. We have port, starboard, aft, and bow, and then we've also got a couple of smaller guns too. Let me just show you here these other water cannons that could be used, and this would be great for multiplayer. Unfortunately, not multiplayer at the moment, but you can actually, you know, man these guns too and start spraying. So if you want to, you know, you can turn them on and increase the pressure, decrease the pressure, and yeah, so they're very highly interactable, so not bad, and that would be great for multiplayer. I'd love to see that. So anyway, let's go ahead and close the door here, and you know, again, I'm just being casual about putting just casual firefighting, no big deal. We've got 4 fires, it looks like, on the front of the ship maybe, and I don't know what they're shipping, but it could be, I don't know, grain. Can grain catch fire? I have no idea. Maybe it's PlayStation 7s, who knows? I have no idea. Secret shipment. of PlayStation 7s. All right, so one of the cool things here is that we can increase or decrease the water pressure, which makes it a lot easier to aim. You just mop up that pressure a little bit and kind of spray the whole deck, and it pretty much goes out in a split second. Now, from what I've seen so far, and I've done this a couple of different times, it's always the same ship and always the same number of fires. But I am hoping for a variety of different, and maybe I'm wrong about this, there could be some RNG to it, but I'd like more controls in forcing the game to have different types of fires that I want. You know, I want to see a, what about an oil tanker? What about an oil rig? What about a small fishing vessel that maybe is capsized and is on fire and things like that? But it always just seems to be this giant, you know, ship hauling ore. There's not really container ships or whatnot. And that would be another interesting fire too, especially if the containers somehow had something hazardous inside of them, and we had to be careful about that. And maybe use foam if it's chemicals or something like that inside the containers. I'm not sure, but look, there's a lot of different things that they could do, and there's a hell of a lot of potential for firefighting at sea, given from what I've seen in Firefighter Simulator Ignite. So all my knowledge comes from other, you know, games like that, and I really hope that in the future, if it's not already planned, we can go on board these ships and help them to fight the fires and get all the firefighting equipment for sea, which is probably one of the worst scenarios you could ever be in, is a fire at both in the air and at sea, for sure. So, okay, it looks like the fire is pretty much out here. Just 2 more to go up by the bridge of this ship, and we're drifting a little bit. I could have the crew, I can give them orders as well. I think if I hit spacebar, I can give them all sorts of orders, like to anchor the ship and to take command of several different stations. But, you know, for this job, it's not too crazy, not too difficult. It's rather, I don't know, pretty chill firefighting, honestly, because it's already the same situation, which I'm familiar with. But it would also be great to see fires on the shoreline. One of my favorite games of all time is probably the, actually franchises, is the Emergency series, which kind of goes hand in hand with this as well, where you get firefighting boats in that game. And if you remember, some of those have, you know, a simulation of like an oil tanker running aground and blowing up at like a refinery, and everything goes up. The ship itself, all the, you know, the storage tanks, the processing facilities, and a lot of people have to be rescued. So it would be a great expansion for both Firefighter Simulator Ignite, maybe to cross-promote this game to give you a boat, and then also for this game to simulate maybe having to go aground, you know, going on the shore and helping out that way. All right, you know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to go ahead and see if I can hop off this. Hello, ma'am. And I'm going to go ahead and jump out here and grab this other hose. There's one on the bow, and this will give me a chance to show a little bit more of the ship. I think these ships are all very good looking. They've got quite a lot of detail to them. Recently, I was in Gothenburg in Sweden on some of the submarines and destroyers that they have there. And, you know, they're very tight spaces, and this is no exception, although it's a much more modern ship than what that one was. Oh boy, I'm lost. I think these are all the crew quarters down here, and I think we can go in those, or the intention is eventually to be able to go into those. Oh, there we go. We plowed into this ship. Good for me. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put out these fires. We're down to just 2 fires now. We must have been putting out some of them, but very cool that you can see how close we can get to the fire and how close we can get to these ships. I also think it's quite generous that we're not taking, you know, I don't know, they're not, I don't think they're really judging us in putting out these fires. We're not being raided. There's not like a ton of extra damage being caused to our ship or a point deduction at the moment anyway. Wow, we went from 2 fires to 4 very quickly. I'm going to spray this one out. This cannon's a little better, I think, for close range, because you can really just maneuver it quickly and just jump from fire to fire. So we're going to be down to 3 here in just a second, and then we're going to be down to just a couple, 2, 3, really. Kind of hard to see that we're actually putting out these fires. I guess, yeah, the boat's moving, so that does make it a little difficult. So when these go white and then the circle disappears, that's when the fire's out. You got to watch that upper right corner, though, to make sure you really get it. There we go. So now we're down to 3. This will be 2, and then there seems to be more fire over by the bridge. 2 of them next to each other. Nice. Okay, so honestly, I can see what they're going for. They're being very ambitious with their presentation. Again, the campaign itself, I think, is really more of a glorified tutorial that tries to, you know, give you a character and create a backstory and all this stuff. And I can understand why they're doing that, so it's not just a series of scenarios. But I think this would be really successful multiplayer. I mean, if you could have everybody picking a role as if this were Grand Theft Auto role play. It might be a little boring, but to sit around and wait for, you know, something to happen as emergency crews would be fine. Well, actually, what would be great is to be able to be a tugboat or whatnot, and then when things go wrong, then you get to switch your roles, that kind of thing. So a constant experience. That'd be nice. All right, that's our last fire right there. Could have did a little better there, honestly, but not bad for just kind of showing you how things work. Now, another thing I want to make mention of, too, is that the storyline, the main campaign, does have a couple of fires and whatnot scheduled in the actual scenarios themselves. And in our previous little jaunt there, we were looking at, of course, fires on a ship, but I couldn't get like a fire on a bridge or whatnot to start. That's going to have to be a campaign thing. So if you want to see, you know, fires at actual ports, we'll come on back for that when we live stream it. Okay, now we're on a patrol vessel, and we do have a little, like a rigid craft there, a little dinghy, and we can launch this too, and I believe this is the other craft that we can take to board ships, although you can do both with both ships. So let's go ahead and head out and see what we can do here. We'll go ahead and hop inside and drive around. They want us to sail to the marked location, so that's about 2.8 nautical miles there. And yeah, again, remember, we're supposed to be security forces. We're I don't know what you want to call it, port authority, border patrol. We're the police. We're the security, and we've got people hanging out in t-shirts and stuff, so it's weird. But again, that is just a starting point. I think that's a small thing, a small gripe, and something that can get improved in no time. Okay, let's go ahead and get out of here. We're going to go ahead and pull out and sail to the marked area. Let's go ahead and rip and dip. Boy, she takes a while to get moving. Whew. There's more of our controls there, too. Was this thing a clutch? What the hell? Maybe if we just straighten out a little bit. There we go. All right. I was hoping that it would kind of push against the shore a little bit, but let's actually try to take some damage here. I want to see if there's any. Oh wow, no, she turns on a dime. Although the back end there, you did hear a little clunk. Yeah, I think our ships can't be damaged, and I think that would also add a little interesting element to it. I remember in Fishing Barents Sea, there's a lot of focus on damage and whatnot, and if they could make it so that way the campaign could be more career-based, I think that would be more interesting, where you could pick a specialization, and then as time went on, there were a bunch of different scenarios and things that you could do to climb the ladder for that one. Now, the campaign, I believe, has a fire that takes place on this bridge too, so there are shore-based fires. I want to make that clear. That is a thing, but you can't like control it. You can't spawn that via quick mission. It kind of happens in the story, so I'm sure that'll be added later on. But very beautiful harbor here. I mean, this is gorgeous. Really cool to see. Oh wow, we got big boy boats rolling around too. Wow, they're turning on a dime. Look at that one. Damn. Okay, 2.6 nautical miles. We're gonna go out on patrol and find the wanted ship. Although they did allude to us being on patrol to like look for other ships that might not be in compliance. Wow, this feels like actually feels like Gothenburg here. Wow, a little bit. Although this is, you know, generic Europe 101. I mean, some of the buildings here look French. The cliffs look like Gothenburg, the bridge. But these are all modeled after, of course, various very popular ports in Europe. Ports of like Amsterdam, Rotterdam, ports of Scandinavia and Germany. And the developer themselves is German too, and so Astragon, these are also the same folks who made Construction Simulator. They're pretty good at attention to detail in vehicles. They really are. I just want to see more, you know, actual feedback from inside the different vessels. But we'll get that, you know. And my complaints here, I think, are I'm really trying to like feel for what everyone else is going to maybe say that should be added right at the very beginning. And I think everybody's going to kind of be like, okay, this is a great start. Now, where is this and where is that? And can we add this and that? And I think that'll be good. It'll be the same with a lot of the train simulators, too. Now, look at that bad boy right there. Is that CNG? No, no, no. That's actually, it's got... Oh, does he have sails on board? Some of the newer ships, it doesn't look like he's got those. There's a lot of cranes on there, though. Some of the newer ships, though, they've reinvented the sail again. They're using sails to actually help propel them through the water in a different way. All right, now I think we also have a spotlight here that we can flip on. Let's see if we got some of the lights here. We got anchors away, dock at pier, horn, outer lights, Actually, we're going to turn all those on. Inner lights on. Okay, so off means on. I'm probably going to plow into something, but I honestly don't care. Oh, wow, damn, look at that. Big old spotlight on. Oh, and it looks where I look. Oh, that's convenient. Very nice. Otherwise, in previous games, different games, we would always have to kind of like aim the joystick in first person and then try to see where it is outside by just adjusting it over time. Man, these ports are just super popular. There's so much boat traffic here. There is absolutely a lot of boat traffic at ports, but this is insane. I hope to see maybe Asia as well if it's not in here. It would be really cool to be able to load a bunch of cars or something up onto a some sort of a vessel and then actually ship them out. And this is kind of a little bit more focused on the ports themselves. So once you get out to sea, you know, you're just basically cruising, you know, you're not really doing too much other than just kind of rolling, you know. It's like flight simulators where there certainly is a lot of things you can do while you're at cruising altitude. And, you know, there's a lot of different things you need to do in order to prepare to get to that. But I think the most exciting thing is takeoff and landing and taxiing and preparing your flight computer for that kind of stuff. And so here it's the same with navigating through the port and monitoring things as you go. But then once you get out into the open waters, it's not as, you know, there's still things to do, but it's not as intense. I don't think we can go any faster than this. Boy, that is very small too, by the way. I didn't even know we had a display of our speed. We're 21 knots, which actually is kind of, it's not slow. I'm also looking here. Let's take a look at the map here. Do we have, oh wow, look at that. Okay, so we've got a map here showing shallow water, but we don't actually get a representation of the depth of a lot of the water here. Here are the different ports. And they are connected, but they're obviously representations of different regions, with probably more coming in the future. Looks like we may get, you know, more northern Scandinavia up there. Maybe there'll be some tropical areas. A lot of this looks like, you know, Denmark, the Netherlands, Belgium. Big port over there. Big port over there. Crescent Port probably being one of the biggest, as well as this one here at Drakleden, whatever. Okay, there's the wanted ship over there. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to have to go on board their ship or whatnot, or chase them, but we'll see. It's a giant container ship, so really shouldn't be a big deal. I'm not sure if they're moving, so I'm going to head them off at the pass. A little bit of a ways to go here. Alright, so it looks like he might be turning away from us. Actually, I believe we do have access to binoculars. Let me go ahead and try to open up our thingy here. There we go. Wow, I'm just tapping like A and D to just make very subtle turns, and she's going all in. I'm not sure what ship it is. I think it's this one here. Now I gotta say, it is very interesting to see firefighting and like security operations. I was hoping that we would get a very detailed container ship and port simulator, but they went a little beyond with that. And it'll be interesting to keep it interesting. Like, we'll have to see what they do to actually make it engaging time and time and time again. I think that'll be a different and difficult task for them. But the police simulator games we played before, those have been quite fun. A lot of repetitiveness to that, but, you know, that's one, what makes it interesting, and two, that's kind of how it is for police. And a lot of checking of paperwork in that game, too, and things to make sure that people are, you know, have the proper permits and licenses and stuff to operate vehicles and have weaponry. And This game would be cool too if it's got all that. If you have to go board a ship, and we'll see because I haven't done it yet. If we board, I'm just going to say an enemy ship. You know what I mean? Like, if they got some sneaky shenanigans on board, we got to get them. All right, this guy seems like he's fleeing. Like, we got our lights on and stuff, don't we? Do we have our... Actually, we don't really have... Oh, we do. Well, we do have patrol lights. Hold on, let me see if I can flip on, like, lights here. Use the binoculars to search for the ships you need to inspect. Alright, well, let's go ahead and slow her on down. Identifying.
Doesn't look suspicious.
That guy, maybe? Let's see if I can turn on the lights. Actually, I think we can do that from this menu here. We just hit... There we go. I want to be able to do it from the actual ship, but, oh well.
This ship doesn't look suspicious.
It's not Herbert either. Who else is out here? Ah, that's who.
We should take a closer look at that ship.
Okay. Getting into it now. Go ahead and approach slowly. Our lights look really cool. I do not know if these are actual ships, but those of you who are experts, you know, let me know if these are A, based on actual ships, B, are they actual ships, or C, that's where we're at right now, we're at C. Use the radio to establish contact. Okay. Go ahead and stop here. Okay, and establish contact via CB radio.
Sure. Come on up. Want a tour?
Uh-huh. Alright, well, we can dock alongside them, or we can take the dinghy. But let's just try to do this now, as it's given in the instructions to sail to the mark area and dock. If I launch that small ship, there is a chance that if I go into that square, it might not recognize as the correct, you know, vessel in that square. So let's just go ahead and pull up. We can press K to dock. Is that going to be a auto thing? You're too far away. Okay. Then don't put up the screen. Oh, I see. I think we have to be within the square? I'm not sure exactly what they want there. Okay. We got it. Okay, let's keep the searchlight on them. Then I'll get up from my seat. Yeah, ahoy, we are. Okay. Okay, so we've docked next to the ship according to... you know, when we press K, according to that, we docked. Docked next to ship and boarded. Well, I thought we did. Take steering, back to Charlie. Hold K to undock. So we are technically docked. We are green. Let me go ahead and hit K and then K again.
Reporting for duty.
Let's see what we can do with our crew, maybe. Oh, we could teleport to other sections of the ship too. We can go down to the engine room. Engines. Okay, crew. Assign task, maybe? I don't think we can actually assign them a task. Swap vessel. Okay. Oh wait, would that allow us to switch to a different ship? Anyway, I don't think I could jump across that. I can't jump at all. In fact, spacebar is the one that brings up Oh, and you can see my character here. Yeah, we're apparently, you know, ship police or whatnot. Serves as a lifeboat. Okay. Now, you'd think we'd use that as a maybe an inspection vessel too.
Reporting for duty.
So yeah, I'm not sure exactly how the hell to get over there, but I think we did what we were supposed to do. I mean, we did follow the instructions, so I don't know if I can reach out and grab that ship and attack it. I don't know. See if there's some sort of a way we can connect to the other ship. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Open door, closed door. I think F.
Reporting for duty.
F to open door, I think is the door behind us. I'm thinking maybe we can open up one of these panels and put out some sort of a gantry, but there's also something that popped up here a minute ago. Let's see if we switch vessels. I'm sure it'll just switch to a different ship.
Provided you with a checklist.
Oh. Alright, so that's how you did it. So they want you to, quote, swap. Not teleport, but swap, which made it seem like we were going to be in a completely different ship. Okay, anyway, now we gotta check their maps and rudders. Hopefully these guys aren't creepy criminals. We'll see. This would be great for roleplay. And this is probably a modeled ship that we can also take control of ourselves in the actual game, like a tugboat. Okay, so we found that. That's a restroom there. Let's go up to the bridge. Need to find 2 licenses. You'd think if we radioed that we're coming aboard, they should just go grab all the stuff, and we should also have a security team here. Something there. Posting lights. Position lights. Can we see an ID or anything? Looks like IDs of the crew, maybe. Although it would be weird for them to have them on them. You know, it seems like it should just be in their cabin or something, but necessary. Love the green paint. It's a very durable paint. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they're way down here in the engine room, I think. Oh, nice. Where are they? It was just the captain. There's no other crew here. What the hell? Is the captain a robot? No, but that's a really cool setup for the engine room. That's really nice. Very cool stuff. Okay, we have our licenses here. And then we have our crew list and IDs there. And let's talk to the captain. I guess he's fully compliant. Now, what would be really interesting in this is if they try to run, what would happen? This is just seems to be going okay, and the captain was friendly, and everybody's, well, everybody, just the captain, I guess. But you know, things are going well. Imagine if we were trying to get. Imagine if we were trying to come on this with the smaller ship. And if they were trying to run.
Have a good journey too.
Thank you, brother.
All regulations were complied with.
Alright, now we can swap. Or it'll just go to the title screen again. Alright, cool. Now we're on the rigid, and this is usually what I see on rivers and near ports too. We're gonna go ahead and do the same thing we had before, but on this bad boy. And it looks like we're in, oh wow, that looks like Stockholm City Hall there. Oh, we're heading back into port. But there's 2 different locations here. Inspect the ship, inspect the ship, inspect the ship. So it looks like it's going to be the same thing with just a different craft. So we're going to go onto each of these ships, and then somebody's probably going to be non-compliant, and then they're probably just going to get a fine. Honestly, I don't think anything interesting Grand Theft Auto wise, like many of you may want to see, is going to happen. Like, I don't think they're going to push us off the ship or pull a gun or something like that. We're going to have to like call in the Navy or something like that. I don't know. It's probably not going to be a shootout or anything like that. Considering that this is going to try to go for more than likely an E rating and try to be appealable to everybody, it's just going to be basically just like, hey man, one of your IDs was expired. That's going to be a $400 fine, $10,000 fine, $80 million fine. I don't know. Let's see if we can look through the binoculars. That's going to be on the other side of that. But this is going to be cool. You know, considering the fact that this whole port could go up in flames. I mean, I don't know, a bridge could start on fire. These cranes, any of these things could explode at any second. I mean, there's always a risk for that stuff. Firefighting, inspecting other ships, and then also transporting cargo and doing more peaceful things. It's a little mix of everything, right? A little hype and excitement, honestly. Kind of cool to see. The fact that we can, you know, load up with cargo from one place and go to the other is quite interesting. And in the career mode, you know, I think that's going to be kind of more of a tutorial showing you everything that you can do. But honestly, a career mode here where it would have money involved would be way more interesting. Something along the lines of Fishing Barents Sea, America Truck Simulator, Euro Truck Simulator, that kind of thing would be way more interesting. Looks like we need to go back that way. But, oh yeah, here, look at that sweet turn. Sweet. And we're moving at like what, 70 knots or something like that. We're going pretty quick. About 30. I thought it was a little faster than that, but yeah, not bad. Anyway, overall, the maps look great. I'm happy to see a ship simulator. I think we need more of these now. I want to see this be multiplayer as well as other games because, like, you know, it's kind of lonely. We're in a port where there would be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people working, and you know, people in the cranes, people in security, people driving forklifts. There'd be medical emergency. You know, a lot of things happen where there's a lot of people, and I think that would just be very cool. But overall, looks great. I'm excited to see it release into early access. I want to see your thoughts, hear your thoughts. So let me know down below. Now, additionally, if you've watched to this point in the video, comment "I'm in" down below in the comment section. Let me know you watched the full thing, and to let me know that you'd like some keys for this one in the future. We may get some more to give away as we're entering, you know, the holiday season and whatnot, and devs are more than ample in giving keys away to me and other people to give to you. So make sure you sub to your favorite channels, and if anybody is giving out keys for this or anything else, make sure you ask. And you know, it'd be cool to see more people who work in these industries and who are very knowledgeable about ports and ships and boats and other things like that get really excited and give their honest feedback, and then that way we'd have a much better experience for everybody. Thanks again, guys, for watching, and we'll be back for more of this one very soon, for sure. Very soon. Hold on a second. Who is this guy? Oh, that's going to be a big one. No smoking? I see smoking. Oh, he's going to jail. He's going straight to jail. Look at that. He's smoking 2 smokestacks right out the top. That's supposed to be an electric vehicle. Yeah, well, unfortunately, we're out of time for Seafarer, the ship sim for today, but come on back for a live stream on this one as we have a lot more things to explore. I'm going to log into their online services once they launch in a few days, and then we're going to start making a profile where, again, you can make your own, you know, your own name and different rankings and things like that and play through the campaign and the quick play mode. Now, multiplayer is coming to the game, but I'm just saying, like, I want multiplayer now to make it a lot better. And on their Steam store page, it also says single player only. Now, this is grayed out for good reason because it's not available yet, and it'll probably be a long time until we see multiplayer, as it's not even listed for their early access, which again is on October 7th, 2025. So mark your calendars, pop it on your wish list, and join me for the I guess the christening of the career mode for Seafarer, the ship sim in the future. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.